Here's an EvoGrip S54 Swiss Army knife. When these came out, Swiss Army bought a company named Wagner, and Wagner went out of business. They walked in, all they did in the factory was change their logos. That's it. Everything else stayed the same. Now, why I preferred this particular Swiss Army knife is because it has a locking blade, and I think the screwdriver locks too, but it's mainly because of the locking blade why I wanted it. The other reason I love scissors, there are certain things it has to have for me to buy it. I installed a ferro rod, and I'll have a link to that video, and it has a compass in it. Well, I wanted to do a little bit of an update because I've added some things to this. Now there's a place here. There's a can opener. Now what I want to show you there, do you see that little round thing right there? Well, that is this. Okay? That's a magnet in there. Now a magnet allows me to do a lot of things. You have to buy these, okay? Buy a package of 100, and there's 100 pieces of them. You can see one there. It's really tiny. See that right there? This particular magnet, which is a 5x2 millimeter, I'll have a link to the bottom if you want to pick these up, fits right in that little can opener. So you never have to worry about using that on other items. Now, I can rub that against the flathead screwdriver so it has a magnetic end, and I can pick up screws. I can put the magnet on the end of the Swiss Army knife and pick up something further down. Now it's for very, very light duty. I then added one more thing to it. Now on the corkscrew, I added a flathead screwdriver, which I think is known as the eyeglass. It's a flathead basically. That allows me to change declination on the compass I carry. Now I did add another thing. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to try. There's a pin in there. Okay? You see if I can lift this up a little bit. Now I turned around and I added this. I popped off the scales, used a smaller Swiss Army knife, and cut myself a hole in the side there, because this particular EvoGrip S54 does not come with a pin inside of it. Okay? And basically, I now have a pin when I need one. Now, it doesn't go straight up and down, okay, the way I added this. That pin is going crooked and down. So it's basically going this way. It's going at a 45-degree angle down. And it fits perfect, is what that does. Now, being this particular Swiss Army knife comes with a compass, there's no need to make one. But if my compass broke or I lost it or something happened, I could literally now use that little tiny magnet, rub it against that pin, drop it in some water, and it would point north and tell me what direction to go, is what it would do. So you can think of it as a backup compass. I like the pin because if you've ever had a sliver, you need something very, very tight and doesn't pull too much skin. With a pin, you can play with the squiver, digging yourself a hole slowly, then use the tweezers that comes with the Swiss Army knife and pull that sliver out. So that's kind of nice. This was a very cheap pack, okay? I had to buy the magnets. And you're going to get 100 of them, so it's like, put them on the shelf. It's not like you're going to have to worry about losing a few. They're very, very cheap, under $10. Now, I didn't have any pens. I wanted the certifiable Swiss Army knife pins. I bought those off eBay. I think they were like $7. So if I do lose a pin or some magnets, then I have extras to put back in the knife. And I'll link to a couple other videos where I reviewed it, where I talked about how I did the ferro rods, because some of the stuff I've done to my Swiss Army knife is trial and error. So I end up buying, like, my first magnets I bought, they were too big. They would not go anywhere. So I bought the wrong size. Then I had to buy another set to see if that was a little bit smaller to get it to fit. Where you, if you're watching this and you own the S54 Swiss Army knife and you want to do this, then you don't have to go through trial and error. You know exactly what you need. Now, there are lots of guys that show you how to pop these scales off and then how to put a path for the pin on here. Now, it was the first time I did it, so it wasn't like I could make video and give you complete instructions. I wish I could have, but I wasn't able to. Just make sure that when you put the pin in, you go on a diagonal. You don't go straight in. That's basically the key with that, and it'll fit in there really nice, and you won't have to worry about losing it. So you can actually add a few more tools with this EvoGrip S54 Swiss Army knife, from your magnets to your pins to fire starter. Not only does it have a ferro rod, but it also has some cord that to catch fire. This complete system has enough in it to where you can actually make a fire for yourself and keep yourself warm. You can create a compass. You can remove slivers. I mean, when you have a pin, there is just literally hundreds of things you can do. Now, I've been looking, and I'm trying to figure out how to add a paper clip. And I may do it by popping off a scale and just leaving it inside, but not have access to it all the time, only in case of an emergency. I'm not sure yet. That's something I'm still playing with. But if you want to add a magnet, you want to add a pin to your EvoGrip S54, hopefully this sets you on the right road to actually achieve it. Catch you guys on the next one.